Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the live radar, run through the UKV, have a look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days. So we are going to see some drier and warm weather in a few areas perhaps through this weekend, but the overall outlook is still for plenty of areas of rainfall and for cooler conditions further northwards and westwards. And the longer term outlook is looking pretty similar, very unsettled with lots of rain like we've seen in the last couple of days, where some areas have seen 30, 40, 50 millimetres plus. So really getting us into a much more autumnal pattern compared to what we saw towards the beginning of the month, where it was really warm and dry. We're seeing the reversal of that now with lots of wet conditions, and in the longer term we could see those cooler conditions come as well. We'll then have a look at the longer term, and we'll be able to see the very unsettled conditions as we do progress through the next couple of weeks as we head into October. GFS, GM, Eastern OF and the ensembles all do have some briefly drier periods, but the overall trend, as I said, is for really unsettled conditions, potentially even stormy conditions, with some extratropical systems that we have been talking about repeatedly over the last couple of weeks. Those could continue to move in off the Atlantic, not only energising the jet stream, but they could directly impact us as well. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. Now, to start on the live radar at the moment, you can see we do have extensive areas of showers around. Now, you can look out into Europe, across Belgium, Luxembourg, Germany, France, Switzerland. You can see the cold front that swept through last night, giving extremely large amounts of rainfall in places, with that squall line producing really quite violent conditions. Even saw some videos of some flooding in around the London area and to the north and east of London. Now today we are in drier conditions, but still showers have broken out. So we've not got the widespread rainfall, but you can see in northern Scotland, Northern Ireland, it's got a lot of showers. We're close to the centre of the low, and further southwards we've got quite a bit of instability around coming off from the near continent, and you can see we've got some lines of heavy showers around. And just cutting in here I just stopped the recording there for a second, as just where I am right now, it had a huge flash of lightning and a big rumble of thunder, and I'm near this cell. You can see all this developing area of showers towards the north of London. This is passing by, gave really violent clap there. So yes, we're not in the stormy, widespread stormy conditions we had a couple of days ago, but we're still seeing some hefty showers and some lightning strikes in places as well. And these showers will continue, and over the next few days we'll see some dry conditions, but also some more frontal rainfall. You can see there are some quite severe thunderstorms and proper thunderstorms across parts of northern France, and there is the risk these could clip the far southeast through this evening. Again, we'll have a look at the UKV in a minute to see the chances of that. Now, if you put on the temperatures, it's around 5:30. You can see it's a cooler day than we've had previously over the last few days, and that's because we're behind the cold front now. And you can see the cold front is sweeping in much fresher Atlantic air and pushing away more summery air masses eastwards and just generally giving a more autumnal feel to much of northern and western Europe. We are going to see some up and down air masses. There will be some warmer sectors around over the coming days, so we're not looking very cold. The weekend, as I said, could be fairly warm in places, low 20s, but it's warmer sectors associated with low pressure, so likely to continue to have a fairly unsettled feeling. Now, I just want to check the past 24-hour precipitation, as we have seen some very high levels of precipitation in places. And if you do put it on, you can see where we saw that squall line move through yesterday. We can see all these yellows in around towards the southwest and north of London here, where the squall line was most intense. And again, here seeing 20, 30, 40 millimetres. And these areas, once again, are getting peppered by these heavy thundery showers through this afternoon and this evening. So yeah, some areas really getting plunged into very unsettled conditions. And you can see the similar pattern across parts of northern France. Truly widespread amounts of heavy rainfall around, really starting autumn with a bang now, after a bit of a summer extension as we head through the first couple of weeks. Definitely looking like a much more unsettled upcoming weeks, and we've seen much more unsettled couple of weeks after these exceptionally unsettled last couple of days. So if you do have a look at the UKV, you can see the showers developing through the afternoon. A few heavy thundery, as I said, and those should continue through the evening, but should ease away around that 7-8 p.m. point. As we head in towards Friday, you can see again more of these showers around. Again, a few could be heavy and thundery, a little bit more widespread, not quite as focused in the south and southeast. And then as we finally head into Saturday and Sunday, you can see Saturday's a drier day, but that's because we're under a brief area of high pressure in between weather systems, and you can see a weather front is approaching from the west and will give frontal rainfall overnight into Sunday for northern and western areas through Sunday in the afternoon as well, and eventually it will sweep through all areas as we head into Monday, and another fresher air mass pushing in. Now Monday you can see the southeast, we're seeing a bit of rain moving in, and this is because we're in a more humid air mass in the southeast. We thought higher pressure could try and build in, but the latest runs, as we have seen, are producing a lot more unsettled low pressure moving in those areas instead. And you can see heavy showers and maybe even some thunderstorms as we've got some moderate amounts of cape and generally warmer upper air temperatures trying to feed in to that southeast corner. Now, if you look at the max temperatures, you'll be able to see it's fairly up and down over the coming days. Some cool conditions and pretty cool conditions, but equally some fairly warm days as well. You can see today sort of 16 to 18 degrees. We're behind the cold front, so it's going to be a lot chillier than it's been over the past couple of days. And you can see as we head into Friday, temperatures responding a little bit in the southeast, again 17, 18 degrees, but further westwards, really struggling mid to low teens. Into the weekend, into Saturday, 15 to 17 in the south, much cooler further northwards, so really proper autumnal conditions. But by Sunday, things could be on a little bit on the up as that warmer air mass tries to nudge in from the southeast, 19, maybe 20 degrees in a couple of spots. And then as we head into Monday, you can see 21 or 22, so it's actually turning fairly warm in a few spots. As I said, it's not going to be hugely unsettled and cold the whole time. There will be some briefly dry periods, and there will be some briefly warmer periods as well, like we're seeing here perhaps on Monday. But as I said, the longer term outlook isn't particularly great. And if we look at the latest GFS, which is just updating, we can see out to 276 hours. You can see the big area of low pressure to our north at the moment, giving us our showers and our heavier rain in places. And you can see over the coming days, more low pressure is going to come in from the west. But you can see for the weekend and into next week, we could see some brief high pressure nudge into the far southeast. But overall, the pattern is indicating a westerly flow and it's getting pushed away. So it's not completely dominated by low pressure from the latest GFS, but westerly conditions dominating, with low pressure being nearby or over the top of us majority of the time. And with the air coming in from the northwest, it's likely to not be much more than sort of warmer sectors. So we're not looking at any majorly above average temperatures, maybe apart from the far southeast as we head into the early part of next week. But mostly we're seeing the blues coming in from the north and the west, so not looking particularly great. Now, if you go over to the GM, you can see again big low pressure dominating at the moment. Continually to see more low pressure pushing in that brief area of high pressure into the southeast through Monday to Tuesday. Still hanging on here, so it could be a couple of days of warmer and drier weather, but I wouldn't hold your horses. It's going to become much more unsettled the days after that. And you can see generally again, similar to the GFS, winds coming directly from the northwest out of southern Greenland, fairly cool and fairly unsettled. You can see those air masses are actually pretty cold at times, so we're going to see a lot of chopping and changing with those temperatures. Now, to finish for the longer range, if we have a look at the ECMWF, another low is moving in. You see another ex-tropical system out towards our west is going to try to move in, give us unsettled conditions. But again, that high pressure could just about hold on into the southeast corner. And then into the longer range, more very unsettled conditions coming in from the west. And ECMWF does look like the most unsettled run today. Again, with some really quite deep area of low pressure down towards sort of 970, 965 millibars out to the west. Very strong jet stream coming in from the west. You see even better on the 200 HPA screen there. And you see the temperature deviation showing quite cold air getting wrapped into this low. And again, going to spin up that low and give us warmer and cooler sectors as well. Now the ensembles, you can see it is showing that temperatures are going to go slightly above average as we head towards the weekend and start of next week. And that's why the UKV was showing maybe 21 or 22 degrees on Monday. But those upper air temperatures are going to slowly drop. And the longer term is looking around average, slightly above, slightly below, depending on the run. GFS was more below, others are more above. but the overall trend is for it to stay fairly unsettled. You can see that with all these frequent precipitation spikes and briefly drier conditions, maybe Saturday, Sunday, Monday in the southeast, but apart from that, it's going to be pretty horrible. Glasgow, for example, further northwards, not going to see any dry weather really. It's going to stay pretty persistently unsettled with lots of rainfall, and those 2 metre temperatures aren't going to be great. Look at that low teen, so we're definitely heading on those trends towards cooler autumnal conditions. Finally, the ECMWF is fairly similar. A brief spike in upper air temperatures later this week, and again, Glasgow is very unsettled in the longer term, and the London picture from the ECMWF once again is slightly above average as we head into next week for a few days, and it could coincide with some briefly dry weather before the rainfall all returns by around the middle of next working week. Widely, that is, could return earlier in the north and west, and a few showers around, but widely, big weather fronts returning by sort of Wednesday, Thursday next week, and dominating beyond that. So yes, not looking at a particularly encouraging outlook if you are looking for some drier autumnal weather. We're looking here at some fairly unsettled autumnal weather with potentially some quite unsettled stormy conditions at times with lots of rainfall, and there could be some decent temperatures at times, but I wouldn't be banking on it. There does look like there will be plenty of cold days coming up, and as expected, we're on the slow downwards trend now towards winter, and the remnants of summer really are starting to wear off. So we'll have to see what the next couple of weeks have in store. By no means is it looking the worst conditions we've ever seen in end of September or start of October, but by no means is it looking the best conditions we've ever seen. Not great, but we will have to see exactly what is in store. If you have got your coats out and your umbrellas out the last couple of days, you're probably going to have to keep them out for the foreseeable future. And if you are hoping to get your shorts back out, the t-shirts back out like we saw at the start of September, not looking likely in the next few days or even the next couple of weeks. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.